might be enough, but I say might because it's tough for him to win it over a quarterback. The big name that I would think is a lock is Cam Newton. I mean, the guy was banged up. He missed basically all of last year. He comes back, and if he wins 9 or 10 games with the Patriots and the division, I would think he'd be a lock. The Steelers would have to win double-digit games and be a huge surprise to knock out a bunch of teams in order to get that. So I asked you, Ron, how much do you think Alex is going to play? And it sounded like not enough to bet on him. That's fine. I'm not going to bet on him either. I'm going to take Cam Newton. I'm going to place that bet right now as we speak. Definitely not taking A.J. Green or David Johnson, that's for sure. Second hour right now.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. This is Eastern North Carolina's longest-running sports radio call-in show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show on Pirate Radio is brought to you by
Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, Angus Grill, Gavigan Insurance, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Taft and Hagler, and by Tiebreakers.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome in on this Monday, kind of a dreary Monday, kind of like the Friday night was for high school football coaches. It was supposed to be week one of the magical high school football season, but in 2020, we'll wait until late February to kick off what will be the 2020-2021 football season. Some of the coaches around the area are going to react to that. Jeff Craddock from Tarboro will kick us off coming up in just a bit. Mike Twitchell from West Craven is scheduled to be with us. Todd Light from Aiden Grifton, Will Bland from J.H. Rose, and Nate Connor from D.H. Conley as we talk high school football. We'd like to be previewing this week's games, but we're not. But we're previewing the spring to come, most certainly, hopefully, as far as that goes. This is the Brian Bailey Show on this Monday, and we're back with head coach Jeff Craddock from Tarboro after this.
Hi, I'm Ken Hagler of Taft and Hagler. We're proud to be sponsors of the Brian Bailey Show and the Pirate Nation on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. If you've been injured on the job or due to someone else's negligence in an automobile collision, call us at 752-2000 for a free consultation with experienced professionals who care. Go Pirates!
It's almost quitting time, but your family's hunger is gearing up for the night shift. Now, you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. Or you could drop a big bow box on it, because whether you need an 8, 12, or 20 piece with biscuits, fixins, and tea, you can clock out and spend some quality time with a delicious dinner. Now, when it comes to sneaking a biscuit on the drive home, that's all you. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Let me tell you a thing or two about the people who don't compromise. For starters, they love a nice, cold Pepsi Zero Sugar. Why? Because it's delicious, it's refreshing, and it has zero sugar. How's that for not compromising? They're the sort of person that likes surf with their turf. Because who decided beef shouldn't have a buddy? And a drink with their feast? Yeah, they have a Pepsi Zero Sugar. The person who doesn't compromise loves a good golden doodle. All the golden retriever goodness with just a hint of doodle. No compromises there. Oh, and when they're bringing said golden doodle for a walk, they bring a Pepsi Zero Sugar. They're the kind of person jorts were made for. 50% jeans, 50% shorts, 100% the most comfortable thing that's ever graced your wardrobe. Not compromising never looked so good. So crack open a Pepsi Zero Sugar and taste what it's like to have it all. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero sugar done right. That's what I like.
East Coast Grading and Utilities is your source for clearing, hauling dirt, and concrete work. East Coast Grading and Utilities handles all sewer and water issues as well.
I'm David Vaughn. Whether putting in a new subdivision or helping you with any and all of your drainage problems, I can get the job done. Call me at 531-7494.
No job is too big or too small. East Coast Grading and Utilities. Friends helping friends. 531-7494 for East Coast Grading and Utilities.
Hey Pirate fans, the Papa John's menu has grown again with the all-new grilled buffalo chicken papadilla. The papadillas are part sandwich, part pizza, and are only $6. Choose from the all-new grilled buffalo chicken, Philly cheesesteak, Italian, pepperoni meatball, and barbecue chicken and bacon, all for only $6 each. Also for a limited time, get any large 5-topping pizza for only $13.99. Place your order today online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
Pirate Radio 1250 and 930.
And you write that down, because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it!
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
Great stuff from Steve Logan. Never forget that press conference when he went off like that. But that's great stuff. Coach Logan's right. You're a Pirate. You go for it every time. High school football was supposed to kick off this past Friday night. We all know it's going to be a wait for the high school coaches and players until early February to start practice, late February to start games, a 7-game season. We're not quite sure exactly how the state playoffs are going to go. We want to check in with some of the coaches to see if they made it through the first Friday. Okay, and we'll kick it off with one of the best, Jeff Craddock over at Tarboro High School. Coach, what'd you do this past Friday?
I actually got up with some of my friends, and we just kind of hung out. You know, we got a nice little pool in the backyard, so had some friends over, made some wings, and just sat by the pool and talked about what we should be doing instead of what we were doing.
Yeah, I tell you, it's so disappointing. I've told a couple of people today that it hasn't hit me yet, because the first couple of weeks every year, you know, it's still so hot. It's summertime, and that's the only game in town until, you know, East Carolina starts. But it's going to hit pretty soon. Hopefully, East Carolina will get started on September the 12th. But it's just so unfair for the kids and for the coaches for what you guys do to not be able to play, isn't it?
Yeah, it can always be worse. I mean, when you look at the situations, and I don't want to ever understate, you know, what we're going through. I know it's, you know, some people have lost their lives, some people have gotten really sick, so obviously it's a concern. But with that being said, you know, I look at my own situation, and I've seen, you know, these boys that are coming back as seniors, how hard they've worked, you know, ever since being freshmen. And, you know, obviously our season didn't end the way we wanted it to last year. So, you know, we've kind of been really antsy just to get back on the field. And, you know, these guys just deserve a shot. I mean, my heart breaks for any kid, you know, playing any sport that don't get an opportunity to do so their senior year, because, you know, as we say at Tarboro, we got one shot to do this thing, so let's try to do it the very best we can. And, you know, I'm just praying now that we do get a chance in February to play. So, you know, these boys got to keep working hard. They got to have something to look forward to. And matter of fact, I'm getting ready to meet my football players on a Zoom call, or, you know, Google Meet, whatever it is, here around 2:00 to see them. But it's just kind of where we're at.
Yeah, before this all hit, did you know what Zoom was?
No, God, no. And I'm so bad at it. You know, I'll be sitting there, and I just tell my kids, I'm like, listen, just give me, if you have a question, just give me a phone call, because I'm sitting there trying to type stuff in to answer their questions or whatever, and I'm like, I'm not very good at this. I'm not very good at a lot, so I just kind of try to stay in my comfort zone.
Right.
Don't get me too far outside of football. You get me outside of football, I'm in trouble.
And I think some of the teachers were saying this morning when I was dropping Bella off that Zoom was down today. So they're having all kinds of issues with Zoom. So, yeah, who knows how that's going to work out. Now, what are you allowed to do as a football coach at Tarboro right now with your players?
Oh, I'm allowed to do absolutely nothing.
Right.
You know, North Carolina put in the phase 1 where you could at least you bring the boys in like 25 or less, and you had to social distance, you had to wipe down the pads, you couldn't lift weights, you couldn't use a ball. So we had, and you have to take the temperature check, and you have to give that to the state. You can't practice longer than an hour and a half. You got to have, at least a 30-minute break in between. I mean, so there's a lot of things that we had, it put in place to practice at Tarboro, but our school board made the decision that they just felt that it was best that we just don't practice at all, and that's just what we've been told until further notice. So I know there's been some teams, east of us that have been able to at least practice in some capacity, but unfortunately, the last time I actually saw my football team as a whole was March 13th.
Wow, that's really unfortunate. And it's one of the weird things about this thing is that each school district is different, and that's why you have to kind of ask, and what are you guys allowed to do? And some are allowed to do a little bit, some are allowed to do none. I know the Pitt County coaches were, at least for a while, they're having summer workouts and trying to go as planned until the whole schedule got knocked. What do you think of playing in the spring? What are your thoughts?
Well, my thought is it's better than not playing at all. I think it gives us, believe it or not, the best chance to play. I believe if things keep going the way they're going, as soon as you bring a lot of kids in school at some capacity, you're probably going to have an outbreak of some cases, and I'm afraid once that happens, then the school systems will probably say, well, we can't play sports. And so, moving it to February, I was thankful for that because as a football coach, usually you're a control freak by nature. You plan out every minute of practice. You plan out every, minute of a pregame. I mean, everything's detailed to the minute. And, it drives me crazy, knowing that teams are practicing. They're like closing the gap on Tarboro, and I'm just sitting here not able to do anything. So at least it got pushed back. I mean, I have my own ideas. I mean, believe it or not, I don't think they should allow anybody practicing football right now. I mean, I wish it. I don't think it's fair that some teams can and some teams can't. I think it needs to be blanket across the board. No, there's no football workouts for anybody until, put your date in there whenever they say we can. But they have so many decisions to make, and I don't envy, Hugh Tucker's position and what those guys do. They're doing the best they can in these circumstances. So, you just got to, play the hand that you're dealt with and don't complain about it. Make the best all you can really do.
What will your schedule look like in February? Do you have the games, locked down yet?
Well, if they, this is going on assumptions. So I'm assuming that if they give us a 7-week schedule, I would imagine that's only going to be for conference only.
Right.
Jones Senior will not have a varsity football team, so that means we'll be playing 5 conference games. Don't really know the order. I imagine the order would stay just like we were supposed to have them. I don't know why that would change. Those 2 bye weeks, I don't know if the state's going to allow us to fill them in with non-conference games. I don't know if they're just saying, no, you're just doing nothing but your conference, and if you have some buys in there, you have some buys. I mean, I don't know how many 9-team conferences we have. I don't know if that would affect, what if you're supposed to play 8 teams and you're only allowed 7 weeks, but I don't know. Obviously that doesn't affect me. I don't know if it affects anybody, but and then like I said, I'm at least hoping for a 3-week playoff. I mean, that would give us a 10-week season and give teams. I think most of your pretty good teams would make the playoffs. I think all first, at least second place teams would, and I think you could have some outlier third place teams maybe get in, but none of all that's up in the air. I've heard that we're not going to have the state titles, and I just think that's a rumor. I think they're going to do everything they can to.
They should, yeah.
Champions, and I think people are just a little nervous. People are just anxious, and I think that's how rumors get started. And I know a lot of coaches. I'm great friends of mine are just frustrated that this is. I'm frustrated, but you really can't control it. So,
right.
That's just. Pray to the Lord that this thing will get away from us and we can get back to some, I guess, new sense of normalcy.
Will you play Friday nights, do you think, your conference, or will you play Friday afternoons because of the weather, or what do you think there?
Well, that's a very good question. I haven't really thought about it. I would prefer Friday nights, but I don't really know with it being late February. I know it's still pretty chilly.
Yeah.
So... But, we played games in December, and then it's pretty chilly then, too. So
right.
I would prefer the night. I mean, at least, let the kids. I mean, it's a Friday night football, so
Right.
we got to bundle up and put a few extra layers of clothes on, and that's what I would prefer. That's for sure.
I tell you, it's just unbelievable that we're going to be talking about high school. Hopefully, we're talking about it. And that's the goal now with the new schedule and some of the sports. I think the earliest. I think volleyball is one of the earliest that comes back. I think practice starts November and they start playing games in December. But it's just we keep talking about the new normal and all this stuff. But with high school football and high school sports, it's really unfair to the kids. As you said, they work so hard, and at Tarboro, they start working hard early on. I mean, you guys, see these kids when they're playing midget league football or whatever, and they look and strive for that junior and senior year. And the spring sports guys lost a lot last spring, and then we go into the fall and they're still losing things. They only get one chance to go around as far as a high school athlete is concerned.
Yeah, and that's just the status reality of it all, and it affected me as a parent, not just as a coach, but
Right.
my son Clay was a senior last year, and he did get to finish his football season, obviously, but he's also was a starting catcher on the baseball team, and I think we got in 6 games, and and that season came to an end. So as a parent, my heart broke for my child who didn't get a chance to finish. But like I said, at least he got to play his favorite sport. But I also know there were some baseball players that that's what they live for.
Right.
Basketball players, if they're doing all their AAU stuff and they're coming into their senior year and this is their shot. I know, like you said, concerning my specific sport of football, we get our hands on them, as they're freshmen. Of course, my middle school coaches do a great job with them as far as working out. As soon as they step foot on our campus in June, these boys are grinding, and the only time I really give them off is the week after the state title game, and then, of course, Christmas break. And as soon as they're back in January, we are firing right back up. So these guys are doing this stuff basically year-round. They lift during this football season. A lot of teams don't. We lift. I'm telling you, we basically lift and work out, year-round at Tarboro, and, I think it shows. These guys get on the football field, they're usually pretty fast, pretty big, pretty strong, and get after it pretty good. And just to see these kids, and I can't guarantee them that we're going to play football, but at least there is hope. And and these kids need hope. Coaches need hope.
Yeah.
So at least there's hope for a season.
That's exactly right. Jeff Craddock from Tarboro. I think I've told you this before, but the very first game I covered in 1984 was Southwest Edgecombe in Tarboro. That was a good one too, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was back in the day.
I was, I think, 14 at the time. I think I was a freshman in high school. If that makes you feel any better, but I've heard all the stories of that rivalry. It's been great. I've been a part of it now for 25 years, and this is, I think, year 16 as a head coach. But I think it's just one of the best games in the state of North Carolina. I don't care 4A, 3A, 2A, 1A, but it's just a classic rivalry. People think we hate each other. There's nothing further from the truth.
Yeah.
We actually are all really good friends, and we actually talk ball together in the off season and help each other out. And I think the kids, they get out there, play hard, but most of them know each other. And at the end of the game, it's just, hey guys, best of luck to you. And it's just a great rivalry. Like I said, hopefully we get a chance to play it this year, but that remains to be seen.
Back in the day, it was Jim Brett against Jimmy Tillman. Man, that's some names from the past, aren't they? Jeff Craddock from Tarboro High School joining us on our show today. Coach, thanks so much for your time today. Best of luck through this fall as you navigate these waters. And if you need anything our way, please give us a call. Maybe we'll check in with you later on to see if you're surviving this fall.
All right, well, listen, thanks for having me, and that sounds great. You guys do a great job, and thank you for always checking in on Tarboro.
We appreciate it. From Tarboro, Jeff Craddock, join us. We'll take a commercial break. Coming up next, Mike Twitchell in Vanceboro, West Craven High School. Later on today, Todd Light, Will Bland, Nate Connor. We'll talk to the area coaches on high school football. We wait until February, but it'll get here hopefully. Back with more after this.
Hi,
Hi, this is Jeff Charles, and this is a Pirate Radio Sports Break presented by Ron Ayers Motorsports, your home for Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki, and Yamaha motorcycles, located north of the airport on Highway 11 in Greenville. The Orioles got by the Red Sox 5-4 in a game heard on Pirate Radio yesterday. Rio Ruiz drove in 4 runs. The Birds have today off. Baltimore is 14-14. The Braves lost to the Phillies 5-4. The Yankees and Mets were rained out. The Nationals beat up on the Marlins 9-3. Anibal Sanchez gets the win. The NCAA has voted to give an extra year of eligibility to all fall sports student athletes. ECU is planning to move forward with football practice this week. After shutting down last week, the university is sending students home and conducting online classes only for the entire fall semester. NBA playoff scores from yesterday. Boston 110, Philadelphia 106. The Celtics sweep the series 4-0. Dallas 135, and the Clippers 133 in overtime. This has been a Pirate Radio Sports Break.
Are you trying to reduce clutter? Want to save a tree? Greenville Utilities can help. E-bill is a simple solution. Imagine getting an email letting you know your bill is ready. And with a few clicks on your computer or smartphone, you can review and pay your bill. It's just that easy. Signing up is simple. All you need to do is to log onto your account at guc.com and update your contact information and e-bill setting. You can even continue to receive a paper bill if you'd like. E-bill from Greenville Utilities. Just one of the ways GUC is here for you.
If you're like many, you may have put on the Corona 5, 10, or even 15 over the last 2 months. Well, the weather is warm and it's time to get that body back on track. At Clean Eats, we have you covered. Our weekly meal plan will quickly help you get back to where you want to be. Order online at cleaneats.com. Our cafe is back open, sanitized, and waiting to serve you healthy lunch and dinner options for dine-in, takeout, curbside, or even delivered through our delivery partners. Clean Eats, it's a lifestyle. 805 Red Banks Road, Arlington Village.
Have you ever seen those exotic aquariums like the guys do in Las Vegas on television? You ever thought about having one of these aquariums in your business? It's more affordable than you think. This is Hal Pruitt with rentafishtank.com. We can make having an aquarium in your business turnkey with no work, cleaning, or hassles for you. Rentafishtank.com creates a relaxing atmosphere and keeps children occupied. Rentafishtank.com already services many dental, pediatric, and doctor offices, plus hospitals and senior living centers. Check us out at rentafishtank.com.
Hi, I'm Annalie Newhoff.
And I'm Rob Campbell.
And we are with CopyPro. We have been locally owned and operated here in Eastern North Carolina for almost 50 years. CopyPro is the leader in office technology.
Does your business struggle with keeping printing costs low or producing professional documents? Here at CopyPro, total customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
We have a variety of solutions to help reduce your printing expenses and make your business more productive. Call us today at 1-800-682-6558 or online at copypro.net.
CopyPro, we are the professional office systems people.
This is former ECU football player Bryce Williams, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back to the show on this Monday. We're working right now to get Mike Twitchell from West Craven High School on. Texted him earlier this morning. He was good to go at around 12:15 or so we hope to have him on momentarily. Coming up in just a few minutes, Todd Light, the head coach at Aiden Grifton. He'll join us at 12:28 this afternoon. And then later on from Rose and Conley, Will Bland from J.H. Rose and the Rampants, getting set for his first year as the head coach of the Rampants, and Nate Connor, the D.H. Conley. I say the veteran coach. Connor's really young, but he's the head coach with the Viking program. So we will wait and see. We don't have Mike Twitchell as of yet. High school football was supposed to start this past Friday night, but we had cancellations because of the COVID-19. Obviously, the North Carolina High School League had decided they were going to push it back, and they have moved the first practice dates into February the 8th, I believe, is the first date, and then February 26th is the first day that they can actually have games. So that's the thing that we have to wait out for. Is it's going to be in February. Will teams play in the afternoon on Fridays? Will they still play on Friday nights? As you heard, Jeff Craddock mentioned the fact that they hope to play on Friday nights, the Friday night lights and that kind of thing. Playing 7 games. He's heard rumors that they have a 3-round playoff, which would be really, really good to have. It won't be nearly what we usually have for the postseason for playoffs, but that's what Coach Craddock has said with that. Trying to get up with Mike Twitchell right now. As we said, Coach Life's coming up. Then we'll go with Rose and Conley, Will Bland, and Nate Connor. As far as East Carolina is concerned, they were hoping to get back to practice early this week. We said as early as Monday. Monday's normally an off day for Pirate football, so my thinking is that hopefully they'll announce later on today or perhaps early tomorrow that they are back in business as far as practicing is concerned. You heard the chancellor from over the weekend. I'm going to ask about Pirate football. He said that there's a game scheduled for September the 12th, and we plan on playing that game. So that's good news as far as East Carolina Pirate football is concerned. And hopefully, they get a chance to, because the guys have worked really, really hard. They had a couple of days off last week, but they were preparing for their third and final scrimmage. And as Coach Kirkpatrick said on this show last week, he said that we hope for that third scrimmage to be kind of like a tune-up for the first game. Our starters will play, our ones will play ones, our twos will play twos. It'll be a really big scrimmage. And then the next week, scrimmage number 4, which usually they don't have 4 scrimmages, but the 4th scrimmage was going to be just to have the guys out and maybe some of the young players getting a chance to run around. You remember the new redshirt rule with only, you can play as many as 4 games and still get a redshirt. So that's good for the young players. And then East Carolina, as most colleges did last year, really did a nice job in utilizing some of those and really working the rules to their favor. So that's a good sign. When you look at what the Pirates have to do, I mean, they couldn't get a game for the 5th or didn't want one, whichever way you look at it. But Marshall will play on the 5th, and then Marshall will travel to East Carolina coming up on September the 12th. We don't know what that's going to look like as far as fans are concerned, as far as media is concerned, but we just hope they get a chance to play that game. And really, we don't know how many games they'll play during the season, because this thing keeps popping up left and right. So we don't know if they'll get to play, their full season, or if they'll get to play 7 or 8 games out of the 10. We'll just have to all wait and see. It's been one of those deals with this. It changes by the minute sometimes, COVID-19 and the coronavirus. As we said, we're talking high school football today. We're trying to get with Mike Twitchell. We'll take a commercial break right now. We'll try to track him down again. Todd Life from Maiden Grifton is in class, and he's going to join us about 28 after the hour. That's coming up in just a bit. Back with more on the Brian Bailey Show after this.
When you can take your eye off a big pizza pie, that's Familia.
Take a break from your dining room table and bring the family to Familia for lunch or dinner. Familia offers favorites like New York-style pizza, lasagna, chicken parmesan, chicken marsala, homemade meatballs, plus summer specials like mahi fish and chips, and steak pizzaola. If you need food to go, Familia's drive-thru window is open and ready for all takeout orders. Call 689-6330. Familia, Fire Tower Road near Pitt Community College and FamiliaNC.com.
Let us help you get back to business.
This is Donald Stocks
and Justin Judge of PIP of Eastern North Carolina.
We're ready to assist your business with branded PPE. Would you like face masks with your logo? We can do that. Plus custom social distancing signage.
Now is the time to ramp up your marketing efforts. Whether it's cutting edge, contactless, touchless marketing, or traditional direct mail, we can do it all.
We are PIP of Eastern North Carolina.
There have been many changes in the automotive world. At Phelps Chevrolet, the Phelps boys are here to take care of you. Mike, Daryl, and 4 of Mr. Phelps' grandsons, Wade, Wes, Allen, and Clay. You see, things at Phelps remain the same. The Phelps team has served Eastern North Carolina for over 50 years. We make your visit easy and fun. We are your neighbors, and that's what neighbors do. Phelps Chevrolet in Greenville. Like Mr. Phelps' great-granddaughter says, come in and get you one.
At Tiebreakers, we admit we have a bit of a problem. People love our wings so much that they're starting to sell their home TVs just so they can watch all the sporting events here at Tiebreakers. Seriously, we're glad you love our hand-breaded, hand-cut boneless wings that much, but we really need you to go home at the end of the night. It's okay, we'll be here tomorrow. And when you come back, bring a friend with you. For great food, great friends, and cold beer, we'll see you at Tiebreakers. Tiebreakers, break the chain, eat local.
How much does the word reliable mean? Sure, all businesses describe themselves as reliable, and we certainly wouldn't expect any business to be unreliable, but when you take a word like reliable and make it your way of life, the entire core of your business, it tends to mean a little more. And it's something you have to show people, not tell them. At Delcor, we show it by being there the same day you call. We show it by simply doing outstanding work with exceptional products, a family-oriented work ethic, and genuine caring for all of our neighbors throughout Eastern NC, because in a time of need, we know the first and the only thing you need is someone you can count on. That's why we only use equipment you can count on too, like a train comfort system. It's hard to stop a train. Delcor can have a new train comfort system installed in no time, or we can provide an AC tune-up to make sure your system is performing well. So will your system keep you cool all summer? Find out. Call us. We're Delcor, the service professionals. Reliable for over 4 decades. Visit DelcorInc.com today.
Hey everybody, this is David Glenn, and you're listening to my favorite station in Eastern North Carolina, Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back on this Monday. We welcome now to our show Todd Lipe in his first year at Ayden-Grifton with the Chargers as the head coach. He's been the defensive coordinator for several years now. Coach, I asked the same question to Jeff Craddock from Tarboro just to start things off, but what are you guys allowed to do right now?
Well, right now we're able to go back to phase 2. We're going to start working out. Now today I had a meeting planned in the stadium and we're going to split the kids up and do some things, but with the rain right now, I think it might be okay, but we can have 9 kids in each room and with a coach, and then we have 25 outside. So social distance, coaches wearing masks, things like that. But we're trying to get, especially our kids who have not worked out today, we're trying to get them a workout in.
So when you're looking at, you got such a long time before you get a chance to play a game. How hard is it to keep everybody's interest level up?
Well, it's not easy, and we do have some time, but we don't want to waste our time. And you know, that's what kind of our ultimate meeting is going to be about, and trying to get them motivated. These kids have a chance to lose their season, especially our seniors. They're going to be done if we don't play. So we want to err on the side of being ready and maybe not being able to play, then not being ready, and then told we're going to play. So that's really all we can do is prepare, do as much as we can do. I mean, a lot of our underclassmen will get benefits from working out and practicing and stuff, what we can do, even if we don't play, but we definitely are planning on playing.
When you look at the schedule as far as what your conference can do, have you guys mapped it out yet? Do you know when you'll be playing which team?
No, I've talked to our AD, and he's keeping me abreast on what's going on. But right now we're waiting to see what that's going to look like. We don't know if they're going to get us to play the conference or non-conference, or if we're going to have playoffs yet or not. We're not sure. You know, nobody's asking me, so really, I mean, I have no input on it. I'm at their mercy right now. We're just waiting to find out what they decide to do.
When you look at what you're trying to accomplish with your team in the next couple of months, you know, is there, you know, offense you want to get in, defense you want to get in? Is it just getting guys in shape? You know, what are you trying to do? Because you're supposed to be playing a game each week right now, and you're not. So what are you trying to accomplish there?
Well, we've got young kids who need to gain weight, and everybody needs to gain strength. And then we got some bigger kids that may need to lose some weight, and then the conditioning aspect and the toughness aspect that we want to accomplish. Also, you know, we got a new offensive coordinator in Brian Tripp, and we've got some practice in so far, but we want to continue that. And then defensively, the kids have been in this defense ever since they've started here, so that's not going to be that hard to do. Our biggest thing is depth, so you know, just getting our kids in shape, getting them stronger, and everybody knows what to do. I think we can all just keep doing that, and we'll be fine.
Will your depth be hurt by the fact that you're playing so many, you know, all the sports are condensed, but they're playing one after another? I'm not sure how much overlap you're going to have, but is that a problem?
It could be a little bit. I mean, we play after basketball. We have a few kids play basketball, depending on how well their season goes. I guess if we have playoffs, then they'll be, they won't be on as much or in practice as much. And then we have some, just a few baseball players, not many, but we've decided, hey, we're going to share. We've got to share our kids. We don't have that many kids anyway, so we're just all sharing and just taking a good attitude at it and letting the kids play all the sports they can play right now.
Do you think you'll play Friday nights when you guys get back cranked up, or will you play Friday afternoons?
I'm not sure. I heard you asked Craddock that, and that's the first time I thought about it. I don't know. I wouldn't mind going a little earlier if possible, but at the same time, you want to try to get as many people to the games and gain as much money as you can because of the season. And a lot of the non-conference games are your closer rivals, and we're going to be missing out on some of that stuff. I do hope we play conference, and then they have a plan for playoffs. That's my hope, but I guess I'll have to do whatever they come up with.
All right, what did you do last Friday night? Opening night, but how did you spend your opening night of high school football?
I think me and my wife hung out and had dinner and watched some TV, watched some Netflix, but we've been to see the kids. The last 2 weekends have been a family deal. We went to Winston-Salem to see my son, and then this weekend we went to Raleigh to see my daughter. So we're kind of family right now.
Were you sad Friday? Did it hit you at all? Because I told Coach Craddock early on that it hasn't hit me yet. I mean, this is my 37th football season in Eastern North Carolina. If you go back to my days on the JV, the 5 years I spent on JV, the 2 years I spent on JV, the 2 years on varsity. I mean, I covered games, high school games when I was in college in Chesapeake and Norfolk, Virginia Beach, that area. So I mean, this is like the first high school football season in 40-some years that I haven't, don't have anything to do. It's nuts.
Yeah, I haven't. It hadn't really hit me like that because I feel like we have something to look forward to. Now, if they'd have taken the whole thing away and said no, and I may feel a little different. We have a really good senior group. We want to play. We don't care where we play. I think we'll have them ready to play. They understand that they're on the edge of losing their season, so I think they're going to work hard. That's part of their motivation. When you get a glimpse of maybe not having something, and then you're given the opportunity to do it, I think they'll be ready to play. And so, no, I haven't really missed it. Hadn't even really thought about it, because I know when my season is.
Right.
Now, the way they set everything up, if we were playing golf right now, I could coach golf, but the way it is right now, I don't even know if I can coach golf because it's right in the middle of football season.
Right.
But yeah, it's kind of weird how everything has changed. We never knew how good we had it. We just had to make sure we got our kids eligible to start the season. Now we got to do the whole thing again because we're going to be in second semester. But yeah, it was pretty nice to start the season with football. You always have priority. Anytime it rained, you go in the gym. Like right now, it's raining right now. We're hoping to get out today, but we don't have priority because we're not the first group up.
Right.
I don't think anybody really not everybody's trying to go right now either. But we're definitely trying to go just because, we don't want to lose anything that we have right now. We want to keep rolling, keep pushing the ball forward a little bit.
Todd Light from Aiden Grifton trying to keep on rolling. Coach, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it, and we'll get you back on before we start this thing in February.
All right, thank you, Brian. Appreciate it.
Todd Light, head football coach at Aiden Grifton. Let's go now to Vanceboro to their head football coach at West Craven, Mike Twitchell, who joins us now. And, Coach, I started both conversations with Coach Lipe and Coach Craddock with the same question. What are you guys allowed to do right now?
Right now we're allowed to lift weights outside. That's all we're allowed to do right now until November the 2nd. So we got our team split up into groups of 20. Coaches are included in that group of 20. I had a group of 10 this morning at 6 a.m. We moved our weight benches and our dumbbells and our clean mats and our bars and our weight outside, and We had a workout for about an hour and 15 minutes at 6 a.m. this morning, and we're hoping we can have one at 3:30 and 5:30 today.
So you guys basically have to move the whole weight room outside every time you want to do something, and if it looks like a rainy day, you got to move it back inside between sessions, don't you?
Well, we got to move it back inside between, to myself, I was there this morning, 4:30. I moved benches, bars, tons of weight outside, set up stations, got cleaning supplies on hand. I had 10 guys come in. We lifted for about an hour and 15 minutes. Then I sanitized everything and brought all that stuff back in the building. We'll move it back out for our 3:30 group. Then it'll stay outside for our 5:30 group. Then we'll move it all back in. Just do it all over again the next day. But I told our guys, it's a lot of work on our coaching staff, but we're doing it for you guys. We feel like what we're doing is important, and we feel like we can do it safe. So we're going to do it. Our guys enjoy it. Got a great group of kids this year that work hard, and they've been beating the door down all summer to get to do something. So Craven County's allowed us to lift weights outside, and that's what we're going to do.
Have you seen a schedule yet for your conference, and will you get to play some of your non-conference key games in Craven County, like New Bern, Havelock, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think that's the talk right now. And I hadn't seen anything putting down on paper. I know that there was some talk there about us partnering up with the 3A and 4A conferences on bye week. Both have 7 teams actually match up with New Bern with a week 7 bye in conference. Both of us do. So, we actually, we had early on had commitment from Coach Wooten at Havelock that we would play each other if we were able to play non-conference games. So I think everybody in Craven County, we're going to try to play each other.
Will you guys play? Will you play in the afternoon, or will you try to play on a Friday night?
I think you're going to try to keep everything as normal as possible.
Good.
If that's possible. I don't foresee us, especially those Craven County games where I think the kids deserve to be in an environment that's typical for that kind of game. I don't know if we'll be able to fit 2,000 or 3,000, 4,000 people in a stadium, but it would be nice if we could.
Yeah.
If we can't, we'll do whatever's safe. That's the main thing is we'll do as much as we feel like we can do safely. And it's kind of all we're doing right now.
Mike Twitchell, the head coach at West Craven High School, joining us. Coach, thanks so much for being on with us. We appreciate your time. And as I've told the other guys, maybe I'll give you a call later on the fall to see how you're faring. Did you make it through the first Friday okay?
I did. It was different, to say the least. It was different.
It was different.
Just blessed to be able to see our kids get together 3 or 4 days a week right now. So we're fortunate.
Coach Mike Twitchell at West Craven High School. We'll take another commercial break. Back with more on our show later on. Will Bland from Rose, Nate Conner from Conley, as we continue on this Monday on the Brian Bailey Show right after this.
Wouldn't it be great if you could get auto, home, life, and business insurance all from one agency? Well, that's where the Gavigan Agency comes in. They can help protect what is important to you. So why not simplify your life? See the Gavigan Agency in Greenville or give them a call today at 252-756-1400. Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio. Subject to underwriting guidelines, review, and approval.
First came the PCC location, then came the ECU location on Jarvis Street. Now introducing the newest store at 10th Street at the Food Line near Walmart. It's Angus Grill 3. 3 restaurants featuring all of your favorite burgers and more. They've got your classic Angus, steak burger, brisket burger, black and blue burger, sweet sriracha burger, jalapeno popper burger. You get the idea. Now with 3 options for the best burger in town. Angus Grill at PCC, Angus Grill at ECU, and now Angus Grill at 10th Street in the Food Line Shopping Center. It's Greenville's best burger, times 3.
Your health suffers. Get better sleep on a Restonic mattress. For you, we have a Restonic mattress waiting for you exclusively at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
It's summertime and it's no better time to drive away with a quality pre-owned car, truck from Greenville Auto World. Let Greenville Auto World show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Greenville. We believe fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right leads to satisfied repeat buyers. Are you planning that summer trip by car? We'll get you set for that trip with an oil change and 27-point inspection. Greenville Auto World, 3840 South Charles Boulevard, across from Hardee's at Bell's Fork.
In studio today with Dr. Shondell Jones from Kinetic Physical Therapy. How can you help people with back pain?
Well, most people are going to have back pain at some point during their life, but you don't have to live with it. A bad MRI or a bad x-ray does not mean you're destined to always have pain. We have specialists that are well trained to find out what the true problem is and the true source of your pain so they can get you on track to suffer with back pain. Our nationally board certified specialists are here to help you. To learn more, visit us at kptonline.com. We can help you live well, move more, and hurt less.
This is Coach Blake Harrell, defense coordinator for East Carolina football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back on this Monday. Blake Harrell is scheduled to be with us next Monday, the defensive coordinator at East Carolina. He was going to be on this week, but we had some changes as far as East Carolina football, and when they shut things down, they shut just about everything down. So he will be with us next week if the Pirates are back in business, which we hope they will be. We hope they're back at practice coming up tomorrow, September the 12th. East Carolina and Marshall, Pirates in the Thundering Herd, to kick off what is going to be a very, very odd 2020 college football season. The high school football season is going to be very odd as well. Won't play until late February. Will Bland is the head coach at J.H. Rose in his first year as the head coach of the Rampants, and what a first year it's been so far. Coach, are you surviving okay?
I'm doing pretty good. It ain't been like it's like a normal year, but I'm adjusting to it and so are our players.
What did you do this past Friday? Because it was supposed to be opening night. There's so much excitement about opening night. It's one of the biggest nights of my year each season. But what did you do opening night?
I think me and some of the coaches, I think we all went to tiebreakers and sat down and just thought about, hey, we should be playing right now.
Yeah.
It was like 6:30. We should be getting ready for a game. So we just chilled, hung out a little bit, and then went our separate ways.
Yeah, that's a great place to go. Big sponsor here on the Brian Bailey Show. We're glad you dropped their name. And I'm surprised I didn't see. I didn't head up there on Friday. But the summer heat that you guys run through, are you still allowed to do all of that? And how long will you carry that as you go toward February?
Well, right now I think we're still allowed. Nobody else has said they wasn't allowed to do what we've been doing. We still got to make sure our kids are in pods. Can't have a certain amount of kids out there, I think over 25. So, just putting the kids in groups and making sure that they with the same group, checking their temperature, making sure that they don't bring any of that symptoms to the field house and stuff. So, and just being precautionary with that stuff, clean all the weights up before after we use them and stuff. So, that's what we've been doing.
Is this the craziest time that you've gotten your temperature taken 1,000 times? I mean, somebody told me that today. Said, "Have you ever gotten your temperature taken this many times?" And I'm like, "No, you're right. I can't remember any other time where somebody's always got a gun out trying to get your temperature."
Yeah, that is crazy. I mean, especially for when you walk into school, you got to make sure your temperature taken before you walk into school, and then if you walk off campus and come back, you got to get it retaken. So. That's the great stuff right there.
What will you be able to do leading up to February? How much of this work will you continue to do, and how much will you be able to scrimmage later on, full pads, and I think the first day of practice is February the 8th. But leading up to that, will there be any type of camp type stuff that you guys usually do in July, or 7-on-7s that you guys usually do in June and July?
Well, somebody asked me about the 7-on-7. We still haven't got that guideline by the state yet, or whether or not we can do 7-on-7. But we've been able to have our kids out with skills, JV, varsity with skills groups, making sure they know the new offensive plays we have. The defense, we got a new defensive scheme that we're going. So, radio going off. Yeah, we've been doing a lot of that. So that helped us out a lot this year. Being able to hang out with coaches and make sure our players know what they're doing. So as far as 7-on-7, we're still waiting for the high school coach to tell us what to do with that.
Well, do you have a schedule yet? Has your conference gotten together and trying to figure out, or are you guys going to wait for a while for that?
Well, we've been talking to some conferences because, we only get to play 7 games.
Right.
Our conference, we had 17, so we need one more game. So I think we're talking with other conferences that got the same amount of teams we have, so then we'll just play each other on the bye week. So that's what we're working on right now, I think.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because you're going to get a limited number of games. But for your seniors, how important is it for them to get a chance to play?
I think it's really important because, I play football, and a lot of these kids these days come to school to play sports. I mean, that's a big part of them staying in school, trying to get good grades so they can go on to play sports. So just being able to hear them say that, hey, we will play in February, that's motivated a lot of our guys to make sure they come to school doing what they have to do to make sure they're eligible to play in the next in spring semester. Because, you still got to pass around the 4 classes. So the kids are motivated, and our coaches are motivated, and I think the community is ready for some high school football.
I think so too. Are you concerned about some of the overlap because the sports they're all condensed and they're all basically in 2021? Is there some overlap that you're worried about, basketball to football, that kind of thing?
We got a couple basketball players that play basketball and stuff. But we don't let, like I said, a lot of them. We want our kids to play multiple sports. So whenever they get done with their basketball season, then they're more than welcome to join the team. Then you got football crossover with baseball. So we got real good baseball players that play football. So that's going to be a big challenge for us. But we'll fix that when we get to when we get down into that and see how far we're going to the playoffs and stuff.
Are you planning anything special personally, and then even with the team during September, October, November? I mean, hopefully we'll have some college football. But I mean, do you plan anything like team-oriented stuff that just to get the guys together to do things?
I think they're having I want to say in September, we're supposed to be doing like a VTO, like one of those little workouts that's supposed to be coming to Greenville. So that's something that we can get our guys together, like any of our guys that want to try to get looked at by more college and stuff. So we have that. And then, for the most part, we see our kids every day. They know we got an open door policy at Rose. So whenever they around the field house, they can come chat with us and stuff. Most of them got my number and stuff. So I get phone calls all times of night about them asking about anything. So, I see them quite a bit. I want to make sure I'm staying in contact with them guys and just let them know that everybody's in this together, so we got to play our part, get back on the field.
Will Bland, the head coach of J.H. Rose in his first year. Coming up in just a bit, we're going to catch up with Nate Connor. We're tracking him down as we speak. But, Coach, when you got the job at Rose, I mean, things really started, going crazy after that, didn't it?
It did. I mean, I got it in January, and then I was playing all my summer heat stuff, and then, boom, March hit, and everything just shut down, went crazy. But, that's a big part of being a coach, and being around a lot of coaches that I've been around to help me out with being able to adjust to stuff. So I've been taking this in stride, and they said good things come to people that wait. So I got to wait a few more months.
Do you think we'll see good football in February and March? Do you think it'll be, you won't really know the difference, or do you think it's going to be a little different just because of the timing and everything?
I think it's being an athlete, you can play any time you need to, but I think it'll be different in the fact that these kids won't be used to playing at some of these cold vineyards. February you get some of the coldest temperatures we have in North Carolina, so they got to be able to play cold, be able to take hits in the cold and stuff. So I think that could be a challenge for our kids, being able to play when it's real cold. But I think we still gonna have some good football because anytime you get 17, 18-year-old kids on the field playing against each other, you got good balls coming.
Will Bland, the head coach at J.H. Rose. Coach, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck in your first year. That's going to be a crazy first year. We certainly appreciate your time, and we'll catch back up with you soon.
All right, thanks, Brian. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you, Will Bland, the head coach at Rose. We go from Rose to the Hollywood Crossroads at D.H. Conley. Nate Connor, their fine coach, now joins us. And, Coach, I'll start the same question with you. What are you guys up to these days?
You know what, Brian? First off, it's great to be on here talking with you. And right now we're getting school off the ground. There's so many adjustments and things we're having to change with the way we go about our normal school day and balancing things out, basically between 3 different programs with a kid, in school one week, another kid that's going to be in school the next week, and then you got a kid that's completely virtual. So figuring all that out, I'll try to get some football workouts done too, and everything. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's as a parent too. I mean, trying to figure out which week you're in school, which week you're not in school. I think Zoom went down today. That had to make everybody happy, didn't it?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. It's some type. You can always count on technology to mess up once in some type of way you haven't been planning on it.
Yeah, I think Canvas went down last week, and good gracious, all this great technology, and then when you desperately need it, that's when it kind of goes down. What did you do this past Friday night? It was opening night. We're all kind of thinking back on it, but what did you do?
You know what? I cut some grass out on the football field, Brian. I did some soul searching and wishing we were playing a football game, and it was nice. We got a little wet and got a little rained on, but I went out on the field and cut some grass and spent some time doing that.
Yeah, that's it's the man and his lawnmower out there.
It's it's therapy in a lot of ways.
It is a peaceful experience. People don't understand that until and you're not as old nearly as I am, but sometimes you just got to get out there with the lawnmower and not worry about a thing, and hopefully we'll get this thing behind us and be able to play high school football. Did you ever think you'd be playing a high school football game in February and March?
No, it's nothing I would have ever imagined, and we've always hoped of having spring football around here and everything, but not quite that early in the spring. I always joke with our baseball coaches and everything that, and I always think about going to ECU baseball games in the spring. You always got those miserably cold games that are wet and everything that we're going to have to factor in, which we'll adjust to when we're out playing football. It's going to be interesting. I think the biggest challenge for us, Brian, is going to be the darkness and practicing during the week and how dark it gets. And have practice fields with lights on them and those kind of things. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that's something I don't think people have thought about. I asked the other coaches, are you going to play Friday nights, or are you going to maybe play Friday afternoons because of the weather?
Oh, Coach, Brian, it's Friday night football. We're going to adjust. It ain't going to be that much different. And, we're excited. Anytime you get a Friday night, it doesn't matter if it's going to be in August and February. Once we get to that point, it's going to be special and electric, and we don't want to take away from that. That would be my hope, that we would still protect Friday night.
I was always a fan of, the best thing about football, and as a player and then covering it, but I remember those first practices August 1st, and you're out there and it's, everybody's just pouring sweat. It's the hottest, time of the year. And then as football season goes, I mean, we really don't get cool Friday nights until late October? I mean, it's usually, September is really a hotbed usually. And then October it gets a little cooler, and in November you get some cold nights, and then the teams that make it to the state championships in December, they can be some cold days there. But I got a bad feeling that all you boys are going to be cold on February the 26th.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be. I have to worry about hurricanes that time of year.
That's true.
We always have to factor in, and it'll still be wet, I'm sure, at that point. We're always having to adjust in those ways here in eastern North Carolina, but it'll be a different type of weather we got to really worry about.
How do you keep the guys interested in football for this long? Because, you can see a light at the end of the tunnel, but it's way down there, isn't it?
That's a challenge, and that's been a big thing. And that's where, obviously we want to be playing right now, and we hope the state was going to do that. And I'm proud that they kind of made a decision in that way, because if we had to keep pushing this thing, I think it could have become more dangerous to where a kid would have just said, because we're going to keep pushing to be ready to go right away, say October 1st or whatever, it'd been harder to pull them along. I think we'll be able to pull back and focus on different things right now, and we don't want to burn them out. But we have to, they love football too, and we have to look at it as a positive way to continue to develop their skill. And, what's exciting is you get that sophomore that was maybe going to be a JV kid, and now he's got a little bit longer in the weight room developing to change his body. Even though that senior's going to be changing and developing too, there's a big difference in that 15-year-old that he might be encouraged that, hey, he could maybe be a varsity player in February, where in August he wouldn't have been. And just keep those tools sharp. So that's what we're going to do.
Do you think your numbers will be pretty much the same when you get to the spring?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think we got great young men who work hard in our program that, I like to be optimistic in that way. I think the challenge is going to be, it's kind of reverse to what basketball coaches usually deal with. We go into the summer And, our summer workouts lead right into our season, and basketball coaches deal with summer workouts, and then they have the football, all their football players go and play football, and they don't get them again until, they're 2 weeks into their season. And so now as we get into when basketball season starts, which we want those boys to go play and be active on the court and do that. We won't have those guys. So that will be an adjustment, but I expect we'll have our full normal group as far as that goes.
Any plans for the fall? You're going to get away with the family and maybe do something? That's kind of like my goal. I'm trying to see when East Carolina hopefully does get to play, and if there's an off week, try to go somewhere just to kind of keep things fresh and try to get through another week, because I can't wait until the spring with all this football. That's going to be fun.
I'm really looking forward to spending time with family. My wife, it's kind of weird. She's like, "What the heck are you doing here right now?" Like, she's not used to having me on the weekends and everything this time of year, but we've really enjoyed that time. And what would be awesome is, if they were playing college football, you always dream about going to all these different places and seeing games, and it never works out with our schedule. So because we're so busy at that same time, and it would be awesome that we have this time to do it, but unfortunately, they're probably not going to be having fans and everything else, so it's not like we're going to have that luxury. So, just get some stuff done and continue to wait for football season is probably what it's going to be.
That's kind of, we talked about it this summer. I said, we ought to go to Chicago for a weekend and see the Cubs play, but that's not going to work out either. No fans for Major League Baseball.
You could go to Wrigley and sit up
That's true.
The apartment.
That's true.
There you go.
Yeah, that would be a fun trip. I don't know if I can afford it, but that would be a fun trip. Nate Connor from DH Conley joined us. Coach, thanks so much for your time today. Give us a call if you need anything our way, and we'll check back in with you and see if you're making it through the fall coming up later on, say October, November.
Thanks a lot, Brian. Always a pleasure to be on here, and go Vikings.
All right, go Vikings. Nate Connor, the head coach at DH Conley. We're out of time. I want to thank Jeff Craddock from Tarboro High School, Mike Twitchell, the head coach at West Craven and the Eagles, Todd Life, his Chargers of Aiden Grifton, Will Bland, and the head coach of the Rose High Rampants, and, of course, Nate Connor, you just heard from at DH Conley, for being on with us. Next week, Blake Harrell, defensive coordinator, tentatively planning to have him on next week as we get closer and closer to kickoff for East Carolina football coming up on September the 12th. That's our show for today. We'll see you back here next week on The Brian Bailey Show.
This has been The Brian Bailey Show, brought to you by
Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, Angus Grill, Gavigan Insurance, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Taft and Hagler, and by Tiebreakers.
Join us next time for another edition of The Brian Bailey Show, exclusively on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
Let's turn a